Hermes Trismegistus, 3 times great, creator of the Hermetic principles, as above, so below. Do you know why he was 3 times great? It's because he was 3 different people that they label as one. And in the same way as this Infinite movie with Mark Wahlberg, where they put him in the machine and he gets all his memories back and kind of becomes superhuman. In the same way that the movie The Avatar, where he, earth, fire, wind, and the airbender, and they put all those items in front of him, and he has to identify the correct one, and that's how they immediately know he's the Avatar. Where does this tradition come from? It comes from pre-flood times. And, back in ancient times, monks or different followers of different religions, of those times, they would look for their masters to be born in the next lives. And so if they could find them before they were like 6 or 7 years old, because when you're a little kid, you're still connected to the spirit realm. You hear a lot of kids talk about things from their previous lives when they're really young. And if you can find them when they're really young, then you can immediately give them, especially if they're already remembering stuff from the previous life, you can take them there and all their memories and things will come back, all the items they used, all the people, and maybe some of those people are still alive, right? All that memory, all that lifetime of knowledge comes back, and then you retain it. Hermes Trismegistus is one that had done this. And to understand who Hermes is, first you have to understand Adam and Eve. Adam and Eve, they had 2 sons, Cain and Abel. Cain kills Abel with the stone. And when he does that, they're not the only people that are existing in the world at that time. They are almost like a new type of human, right? But the other Denisovian peoples are still there in different tribes around them. And they all are praying to a pantheon of gods, right? The House of El. Their prime creator, Elyon. And so when that happened, Cain left and he essentially turned his back on God, and he went to follow what we would call pagan religions today, but they were the religions of the time, because those beings were actually there and actually existed, when we talk about the fallen angels. But we'll get to that in just a minute. So Cain leaves. He starts teaming up with these other pantheon of God religions, Anunnaki, if you want to call them, creator gods, right? And so, but what they are, Anunnaki are fallen angels. That's exactly what they are. And so when the fallen come down, the original fallen angels, and so all the angels that we call like archangels, like Gabriel, Raphael, all of them L at the end, that's because those are the fallen. Those are the ones that came down. The L's, and the Elohim, the gods that are the creator gods, the Anunnaki, right? It's the Elohim. But I want you to understand that humans existed on this planet before the fallen ever came down, right? But so Cain kills Abel. He goes off and he starts worshiping the actual gods, the fallen that are there. They end up having Seth, a 3rd son, and he is the righteous one, the one that is blessed. His line, his offspring, is the first Enoch. And that is the book of Enoch that everybody pretty much knows about. Enoch, or Enochian magic, I'm sure you've heard of that. But Enoch is Hermes Trismegistus. he is also Thoth. And if you understand the story of Thoth and the story of and understand the story of Enoch, they're the same. It's a mortal that becomes a god, right? That turns into a god, right? Enoch is the only man that never died. It's all the same person. But they are practicing this practice of this mysticism where when you come back into the world, if they can find you in the different signs. But I want you to know that, so you have this first group of gods, right? And those like Kronos, and those gods are the original fallen angels that come down, right? Then what happens in any culture story that you hear in the world, ancient history, doesn't matter which one it is, what happens? Their offspring, the demigods, they overthrow them, right? And you can't kill an immortal, so what do? You can't kill a god. What do? They lock them up in the dungeon. Have you seen the show Magicians? Literally telling you exactly what happened. But they are all still there. And so when they talk about the fallen ones are in the chains, in the pits of hell or whatever, they're actually in the underworld, in a prison there, but they are the bad guys from the demigods' point of view because they overthrew them, but the demigods are actually way worse than the actual fallen were that came down to begin with, because when the fallen actually came down originally and they started teaching man all these different things, the 7 sciences is what they came down and taught everyone. And when they first did, and Lucifer, was here, it was actually a golden age for a long time. And that's when all this unbelievable architecture, you see this melted architecture and stuff that's buried all over the world, or some of the stuff that's still up. That's when all this stuff was built, I can't think of the South Brazilian site, Punca. Can't think of it, but it has the huge steps, right? So anyways, the Nephilim were the demigods that were the offspring, right? They overthrow them. Ever since then, they've been running the show, ever since the days of Babylon. And they go through these cycles, right? And so they weren't supposed to be here. So the Nephilim that actually died, because a lot of them did die, right? The ones that died are disembodied spirits, and they have no place to go because they weren't created by gods. That's what demons are. They are all these Nephilim. And that's why they try to possess people all the time and things of that nature, because they have nowhere to go. So why do these disasters happen? What are they trying to prevent from happening? Well, God created us to ascend to literally become angels. He's the master gardener and we're the seeds. Think about Earth. And that was the whole point. Well, when they came and manipulated our DNA and made us from 12 to 9, it made it so much more difficult to ascend. But through these cycles of time, as we in different ages, we come to this ascension process. And then they do everything they can to stop it, because once if it actually happens and we do all ascend, it's done for them. There's nowhere for them to go. Time ends, and there's no realm or fourth dimension for them to even exist in. And that's why they use other people. They would never blasphemize Jesus' name, but they use all these other entities, all these people here to do it like idiots, and they have no idea what they're doing. And the way that they attack you in the spirit realm is by getting you to do things here on earth, and you give permission for them to attack you. Have a nice day.